let's do support question 10, number 2. So we're going to do question number 2A. And for this question, it asks you to convert from the standard form to the y-intercept slope, okay, slope y-intercept form. So basically, you want to go from this form to this form, which look like this, okay? So we're moving from this form to this form. What's the specialty about this form? What's special about the second form? Y is by itself, okay? Y is by itself with nothing else with it. And this is your goal. Your goal is to leave Y by itself, okay? So your goal is to move everything over to the other side. Okay, what are the things that I have to move over? Tell me. I have to move the 5x and the 6, okay? So to move the 5x over, what does it become? Negative 5x. Right? Because this is a positive 5x right here. So when I move it over, it becomes a minus because the opposite of positive is negative. Now, what else did you say that I have to move over? I have to move the 6 over. The goal is to leave y by itself. So the next thing I have to move over is the 6. If I want to move the 6 over, what does it become? Negative 6. So I have negative 5x minus 6. Now what I am left with, I'm left with negative 3y. What is the operation between negative 3y? What's happening in there between the negative 3 and the y? Multiplication, right? So there is an invisible multiplication that we don't usually write that's happening right there. What's the opposite of multiplication if I want to get rid of that negative 3? Division. So that means, in this case, to get rid of the negative 3, I have to divide by negative 3 each term, right? So each term that I have there has to be divided by negative 3. Otherwise, I can't get rid of it. So if I divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, okay? So let's simplify. If I divide by negative 3 here, what would I be left with? Y. So y equals negative 5x over negative 3. Can I simplify 5 over 3? No, it doesn't divide equally, right? But what did we say about division? If I divide negative by a negative, what does it become? Positive. So that's 5 over 3x. So you see that these negatives, they cancel each other. Now let's look at the negative 6 divided by negative 3. First of all, I have negative and a negative becomes a positive. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now, look at this format and look at this format and tell me if they look like similar.
But this one is easier.
Which one? This step is easier than what we were doing earlier. That's right. And this is the more useful step because you're going to be using this more often.
The y, the x, no, sorry, the m. The m, why isn't the, how come the m is still a fraction?
Because if I divide 5 over 3, it doesn't give me a whole number, so I leave it as a fraction. Okay? Yes, because when I divide 5 over 3, if you divide 5 over 3, it doesn't give you a whole number. Okay? So, again, that your ultimate goal is to leave y by itself. This is easier than doing the other way around. Okay? So let's do another example together.
Can we still put this side?
As I said, you'll probably be doing more of this than more of the other one. To C. The question is x minus 2y plus 4 equals 0. So let me remind you that you want to leave it in this format, okay? Y by itself. So what do we get rid of first? So we can get rid of the 4 first, right? Or I can get rid of the x first. Doesn't matter which one first, okay? Okay, let's just, because this is what I did earlier, I got rid of the x first, so let's do that too. Okay, so if I want to bring the x over, what does it become when I bring it over to the other side? Negative x. Good. So this stays as negative 2y plus 4 equals negative x. Then I want to get rid of that 4. Because I'm adding 4 to get rid of the plus 4, what do? When you bring the plus over, minus 4. Then, so what do I do with that negative 2? I divided, that's right. Because what's happening between the negative 2 and the y? Multiplication, right? So there is a multiplication right here. To get rid of the multiplication, I have to divide each term by negative 2. When you don't have a number, what does that mean? When there's no number here in front of the x, when it's negative x, what does that mean? That's an invisible one. That's right. So that's a negative 1x. Okay, let's simplify. Negative 2 and negative 2, they cancel each other, right? So you'll be left with just 1y. And then if I want to simplify the negative 1x over negative 2, that equals to what? Positive, so I have 1 over 2x. That's right. X over 2, 1 over 2x, doesn't matter. They mean the same thing. So just the important part here is that the negative and the negative, they cancel each other. And then negative 4 over negative 2, positive 2. And that looks like y equals mx plus b. So this is the easier way. Again, you're going to be using this more often than the other way around. Okay? So make sure that you know how to do this. Okay, question number 2 from your support question, from your key questions. Make sure you do the questions that I assigned to you.